3 days from now, you will be sitting across from HR, trying to explain why you badged into the server room with a physical master key that, according to every record the company has, was never issued to your role, and why 11 separate nights this year show you in the building with no meeting on the calendar to account for any of them. Right now, you don't even know that meeting exists. Your name is on the tab of a red folder sitting open on Patricia's second monitor. And you know this because Elena Vasquez saw it over Patricia's shoulder while dropping off a signature request and has been unable to think about anything else since. It's thick. Elena tells you at your desk, twisting her lanyard around one finger the way she does whenever she's said something she immediately regrets, keeping her voice low even though nobody's within 20 feet. Like, actually thick. And then, because Elena narrates her own nervousness out loud without seeming to notice she's doing it, adds that she probably shouldn't have said anything, that she's not even sure what she saw, that maybe it was somebody else's folder and she's misremembering the name on the tab entirely. You tell her it's fine. It is not fine. You ask her, carefully, if she saw a color. Red. She says immediately, no hesitation at all despite everything else she's just tried to walk back, which tells you the color is the one detail she's actually certain of. Patricia color codes every personnel folder in that office, a system she built herself and explains to anyone who asks like it's a minor personal triumph. Green for standard reviews, yellow for performance conversations, blue for promotions. Red is the one nobody's supposed to end up in. Yours is red. You find out about the date almost by accident, forwarded in a meeting invite you weren't meant to see the full subject line of before your inbox refreshed. A documentation review. Thursday, 10 a.m., 3 days from now. Nobody has told you what happens inside that meeting that's more or less the entire design of a documentation review. You own 88% of Northgate Systems through a holding entity with a name that has never once appeared on an org chart, a badge, or a company email. That 88% is also, in a roundabout way, the actual reason a master key that isn't issued to anyone's role happens to still be sitting in your desk drawer. Your phone buzzes on the desk, a calendar reminder for a meeting in 10 minutes that has nothing to do with any of this, and you silence it without looking away from what you're actually thinking about. You approved Patricia's hire 4 years ago, her 2 promotions since, and 11 months ago, a retention raise that took her salary up by $8,000 a year, one line among roughly 40 budget approvals you sign every quarter. A stack that totals just over $2.1 million this cycle alone. You don't specifically remember approving that particular raise. You remember approving the stack. The number won't leave you alone for the rest of the morning. An $8,000 signature, invisible inside a $2.1 million stack, quietly funding the salary of the one person in the building now building a file with your name on it. You pull your own approval history that afternoon, not from curiosity exactly. More like you need to see the raise in black and white to believe you're the reason it exists. Line 112 of the third quarter approvals, $8,200. Your initials, a date you don't remember but a signature you can't argue with. 40 approvals a quarter, 160 a year, and somewhere in that pile, apparently, was the exact amount of money it took to fund your own file. Elena finds you again the next day, this time in the elevator, and says, unprompted, that she heard the review got moved up from next week, that Patricia's been staying late, that someone in the printing room saw her running color copies Tuesday night. You ask, as evenly as you can, copies of what? Elena doesn't know. She never knows the actual content, only the texture around it, the staying late, the color copies, a folder glimpsed for 4 seconds over a shoulder, and somehow that's worse than a fact would be. You spend the 2 days before Thursday running the same 3 possibilities on a loop that never resolves. Maybe it's nothing, a routine 6-month review that happens to land the same week. The phrase documentation review sounds ominous because you're primed to hear it that way. Maybe it's something real and defensible. Elena, at least, doesn't seem to be avoiding you, still stops by your desk twice a day the way she always has, which you take cautiously as a data point in that direction. Or maybe it's something you genuinely can't explain, and you've spent 2 days unable to rule that third option out, holding all 3 possibilities open at once, instead of letting yourself settle on the comfortable one. Someone from the product team leans into your doorway mid-thought to ask if you've seen the updated roadmap deck, entirely unaware they've interrupted anything, and you say you'll look at it after lunch. The interruption does something the 2 days of circular thinking hadn't managed on its own. It reminds you, for about 90 seconds, that most of this building is having a completely ordinary week. Then you catch yourself again, mentally drafting explanations for things you're not even sure are in the folder, rehearsing a defense for an accusation nobody has actually made yet. You know it's not a productive use of 2 days and you do it anyway, because the alternative is sitting with the not knowing directly. You think, at one point, about simply asking Patricia outright what's in it, walking into her office and saying the word red before she does. You get as far as standing up from your desk before you sit back down, because there's no version of that conversation where the question doesn't sound exactly like what it would actually be. Someone with far more standing than their title suggests, leaning on the person building a case against them. Wednesday afternoon, a meeting appears on your calendar you didn't request. A pre-review documentation walkthrough, standard company policy for anyone flagged for a formal review, conducted by Employment Counsel before the actual meeting, not after. You'd forgotten the policy existed, one of those handbook lines nobody's had reason to think about in years, least of all you. You walk in expecting to clear the whole file. That is not how this meeting goes either. Fiona Halloran runs the walkthrough from a small conference room with the blinds already closed. 3 folders squared into a stack in front of her before you've even sat down. The only visibly deliberate thing about her. Everything else is flat, unhurried, procedural. "This isn't a hearing," she says, sliding the first folder toward you. "I'm required to walk you through what's documented and give you a chance to respond before Thursday. Nothing you say here goes in the file." The first item is a missed compliance certification, cybersecurity training, logged incomplete as of March. You tell her you completed it in February. She checks a second system, not the one Patricia's data pulled from, and finds your completion record instantly. It's time-stamped, filed under a platform Northgate migrated away from during last year's systems consolidation and never fully reconciled with the new one. That happens more than people think, Fiona says, making a note. 2 systems, 1 migration, and 6 months later, it looks like a violation instead of a records gap. She prints the record, staples it to the front, and moves it to a pile she labels resolved. 1 item, cleared, in under 4 minutes. She flips to the second item, badge access logs, glances at it for a second, and closes the folder without reading it aloud. "This one I'm not going to walk through," she says. "It's not a records question, it's a judgment call, and that's Patricia's to make, not mine. I'll flag it for her directly. You ask, as neutrally as you can, what that means for Thursday. It means she'll ask you about it herself," Fiona says. "I'd have an answer ready that isn't, 'I'd rather not detail it further.' That's the kind of sentence people remember for the wrong reasons." The third item is a single anonymous comment, logged through the ethics line 8 months ago, describing what it calls confusion around reporting structure, near your role, nothing more specific than that. Fiona straightens the folder's edge against the table before she reads it aloud, the only tell she has, a tiny reset before she says something that matters. She reads the line once, flatly, and this time doesn't reach for her pen at all. "These almost never go anywhere on their own," she says. "It needs a second source or a pattern behind it, and there isn't one here yet." That last word sits there a beat longer than the rest. You sit there thinking about how close that sentence comes to a truth nobody involved could possibly prove. You leave the walkthrough with 1 item cleared, 1 item dismissed for lack of corroboration, and 1 item Fiona wouldn't even open, which turns out to be the one that follows you out of the building. Thursday at 10, you sit across from Patricia in the same office where this started, her monitor angled the way it always is, the red folder open on the desk between you this time, not closed. She dismisses the training discrepancy in under a minute once she sees the second system's record stapled to the front of it. Then she doesn't move to the next page. She sets both hands flat on the desk instead. 11 nights this year, after 11 p.m. No meetings on the calendar, she says. And Tuesday, a physical master key used to access the server room, a key that isn't issued to your role at all. I want to understand both of those together, not separately, because separately, they're two odd things, and together, they're a pattern I can't just note and move past. This is not the folding you were braced for. You tell her as evenly as you can manage that the key was issued informally years ago during a facilities transition and never turned back in, and that the late nights were project work you'd rather not detail further. Patricia doesn't write it down. She looks at you instead. That's what you told Fiona about the nights, word for word. I need more than that from me. You give her the one thing you have that's actually true and won't unravel under a phone call. The master key came from Frank DeLuca, the facilities coordinator Northgate used before the vendor switch during last year's consolidation, the same migration that ate the training record Fiona already cleared. Frank left the company 8 months ago. Nobody currently on facilities staff would know to ask him, and you only know his name because you signed his final invoice yourself, a detail you don't say out loud. Patricia writes the name down. I can call facilities and verify a former contractor issued a key 3 years ago, she says, but I can't verify 11 nights of unscheduled project work with nothing on a calendar, and I'm not going to pretend I can. I'm noting both items as open, not resolved, pending that verification. It's not a win. It's not a loss either. It's the folder staying exactly as thick as it was when Elena first saw it, just now with your name attached to a specific man's name instead of a vague excuse, which is either better or considerably worse, depending on what facilities says when she actually calls. For what it's worth, Patricia says, closing the folder without filing it as resolved this time, most of these don't turn out to be anything. I still have to run the process the same way whether they do or not. You tell her you understand. The meeting runs 22 minutes, longer than any version of this you'd rehearsed, and she asks if you're free for the product roadmap sync at 2, entirely unrelated, already back to the rhythm of an ordinary Thursday for her, if not quite yet for you. You walk back to your desk, the same way you do every day, past the same break room where Elena first told you the folder was thick, and you sit down and open the same budget file you'd left mid-review 3 days ago, one of 40 line items, one of which, 11 months back, made this entire week possible. A red folder, you think, sitting back down at your desk, tells everyone in a building the same story, that something is wrong, that a pattern has been noticed, that consequences are coming. Most of the time, if anyone ever actually opens it under decent light with someone willing to check both systems, it turns out to be something narrower, a records gap from an unfinished migration, a sentence with no evidence behind it, and one signature buried in a stack of 40 that nobody remembers making until they're forced to go looking for it. 2 items never got that treatment. The badge logs and the key are still sitting in that folder tonight, filed as open rather than closed, waiting on a phone call to a man who left the company 8 months ago, and a verification Patricia may or may not get around to before she forgets the file exists. It isn't read anymore. It isn't cleared either. Somewhere down the hall, in a drawer you can't see from your desk, 2 unresolved threads are quietly waiting for whoever picks the folder back up next, and you have no way of knowing. Tonight, whether that's Patricia in a week or nobody, ever again.